Hi, everybody. Here's my reading response for week 12. Okay, so a lot of the stuff that we read this week was about the Mongols and overtaking large parts of the territory. And at first, it seemed like they were going to be pretty tolerant of other religions, including Christianity and Islam, but then that didn't last forever, and soon people were persecuted. Another main idea was that the East and the West have pretty much split by now. And there was this Franciscan movement to start a Latin church in the East during this time. But then that kind of died out, and that was kind of the end of their attempts to move the Latin church east. There was this tradition in the Ethiopian church of keeping both the Jewish Sabbath and the Christian Sabbath. So there were 2 holy days a week, which I thought was pretty interesting. The connection that I made is kind of a weird connection, but as I was reading all of these journeys that these people were going on and how they had to travel so far over the seas, I kept thinking about TikTok this summer and these videos. I think it was of the North Sea, of these horrible conditions, and I just kept thinking that there was no way I could ever travel that far like they did on the seas or any body of water for that matter. The experience or the emotion. On page 374 of the Coakley text, they were talking about going to see all of the relics all over the place, which was interesting that they were visiting all of these relics. But one of them that was mentioned was parts or portions of the body of Lazarus and Mary Magdalene. And we have a daughter that we named Magdalene. So anytime we hear any of her history or whatever, we think that's pretty cool. So I'm not sure that I want to go see portions of her body, but it's pretty cool that maybe there's some things left over from her. The quote that I used this week was from Irvin, page 459. It says, "Who rolled the caliph in a rug and trampled him to death as if it was the custom of the Mongols not to spill a prince's blood." And I just thought it was so funny that they were like, we're not going to spill the blood, but we're going to roll him in a carpet so the carpet catches the blood and it just won't be on the floor. Which, okay, if that's your standard, but that was just, I thought that was kind of funny. My 2 questions that I had for the week, in the Irvin text on page 4, it says that the church repair was permitted and some new construction allowed to be taking place. And it seemed like they had to have permission to even repair their churches, which seems weird and odd. But I was wondering maybe why that was, but also was it because of money that they had to get money from somewhere else to do that? And so because of that, they had to get permission because then they'd have to let the money go. I don't know. It just it caught me off guard that they would have to wait to repair churches until they have permission. The second question that I had, I thought that I'm not sure if I'm going to say it right, but the Kebra Nagas was fascinating and just like a really cool story. And yet, I mean, could it be true that Solomon had a son with the Queen of Sheba that we just didn't know about because it wasn't included in scripture? I think that's fascinating if that could be true. And then if it had happened and it was included in our scripture, I'm just curious, like what that would have meant, like a whole nother heir to the throne, and that maybe there's a whole nother line of David out there somewhere. I just thought that was pretty cool. So hope you guys all had a good week, and I will talk to you on Monday.